Mr. Buse, does an American citizen have the right to defend their home from armed, violent home invasion? Just yes or no. It's not a trick question.
Yes, sir. I believe that the Supreme Court has established that right.
Yeah, it was well defined 240 years ago, reaffirmed by Article 3 and every sovereign state since. Ms. Sampson, you believe an American citizen, a free American, has a right to defend his home from armed, violent invasion?
With respect, thank you for the question. The things that we're talking about won't prevent
Well, we're
Americans
moving
from having
past
that
you.
right.
Ms. Okafor, does an American citizen have the right to defend their home from armed and violent invasion?
Absolutely. Not only is it a human right, it is also guaranteed by the Constitution.
Absolutely. What my colleagues are doing, it's unbelievably beyond the pale of anything reasonable or constitutional. Everything we're leading towards here is the seizure of weapons from the homes of law-abiding American citizens that have purchased those weapons legally. You're setting up gunfights in the homes of Americans between Americans responding in the dead of night. When do you think ATF and the FBI comes to a house? In the dead of night. You're setting up gunfights between American citizens defending their homes from dark shadows, clearly armed, coming into our home, onto our porch, and through our door. You're setting up death. Americans killing Americans over some fantasy that you can define. What is a dangerous weapon in the hands of those Americans just living beyond their true right to exercise their own decisions about what type of firearm they legally purchase and own? It's insane what you're pushing. It's not going to end well. Once again, I clarify. Yeah, you have majority control, and you're most certainly exercising it, and you can push this bill through by party line vote. But Americans are not going to sit and allow, without responding. Man, people make decisions like that in the worst possible circumstances, again, in the dead of night. You're setting up some extreme stuff, and you're 100% responsible for it. My colleagues in the Democratic Party, when those gunfights happen, that blood will be on your hands over this political charade of pretending to be able to identify weapons that you, from your ivory tower in D.C., you know better. I can define the weapons that Americans shouldn't have the right to own. It's already, we can't buy a tank or howitzer or caliber above 50. We carry light arms, and we own them. We own them legally, and we intend to keep them. Ms. Okafor, thank you for being here today, man. Very contentious, this issue in America today, but doesn't have to be. If anyone that would actually read the Constitution that they teach, they would know that this is a rabbit hole there's no escaping from. And ultimately it ends with an American citizen standing to defend his freedom. The only question is, can we have that debate reasonably through Article 1 in the legislative branch? Will we have reasonable regulatory effort out of Article 2 in our executive branch? Will it be argued in court, or will it be settled on the front porch of Americans when the FBI and the ATF shows up to seize legally owned weapons from a law-abiding American citizen? That's what you're setting up. I'm sorry, Ms. Okafor, my time has expired, but my passion has not in defense of the Second Amendment. Madam Chair, I yield.